Okay. Okay, so over the past couple of months, I've had the incredible opportunity to work as a lead botanist for the Chicago Botanic Garden in the Seeds of Success program here in Southern California. This program is spearheaded by the Bureau of Land Management, who collaborates with other organizations such as the Chicago Botanic Garden to make this program a reality. Now, what is it that I do as a lead botanist? Well, in short, I look for large, healthy populations of target native plant species. Then, once their fruits are ripe, I collect some of them. We want the populations to be large because that population will still have plenty of seeds available to produce offspring. Just a little side note, this is mountain mahogany, and it was a menace to collect from because the fruits have tiny hairs that feel like fiberglass, and they fly off when you're collecting the seeds. So, yeah, that was not very fun, but they're super pretty. Anyway, once the fruits are collected, they are shipped off to a seed processing facility to be cleaned and tested to see how viable they are. Then, the processed seeds are used by the Bureau of Land Management for conservation projects. An example would be right after an area is burned from a wildfire, native plants that were grown using the collected seeds can be planted there so that they can outcompete invasive plant species that would otherwise just completely dominate the area. Speaking of invasive plants, there were a couple that I've ran into so many times over the past few months. The first is the common storksbill, which has these pretty pink flowers and frilly leaves, but it's really invasive. Next, I ran into cheatgrass and compact brome, both in the same genus. They look very visually similar, except cheatgrass has an open inflorescence and compact brome has, well, a compact inflorescence that is pretty tight. The seeds of both of these bromes would get stuck in my socks, which was really annoying, and I really don't like either of them. So I had to be careful not to get any of these seeds mixed in with my native seed collections when I was making them. Now, I was assigned to the Bakersfield, California Bureau of Land Management field office, and they have about 612,000 acres of public lands, including Carrizo Plain National Monument, the Piedras Blancas Light Station, and up around Lake Isabella to roam around in. The location and the position in general gave me the ability to see really beautiful places even outside of the BLM field office, and I got to see so many cool plants beyond just those that were my targets. For example, on one of my lunch breaks, I stopped at the Trail of 100 Giants in the Sequoia National Forest and got to see my first sequoia trees. I thought they had really oddly small cones for such large trees, and sadly, this grove that I visited had recently been burned, and some of the monarch sequoias, which are the really old sequoias, had died. However, a silver lining is that I found a nest of some adorable mountain chickadees. I also visited Yosemite National Park, which is a bit further north, but it has some pretty cool rock formations and waterfalls. But I'm a plant person, so when I saw the snow plant, I was ecstatic. These plants lack chlorophyll and use mycorrhizal fungi to act as a parasite, and they get their nutrients from nearby conifer trees. So super cool in my book. I also had the opportunity to visit Pinnacles National Park. This one was less about the plants and more about cool rock formations and caves, which I sadly didn't get videos of because it was dark inside and I didn't want to slip. However, Pinnacles is home to the critically endangered California condor. As you can see by this poor quality video that I captured of one, they are there, but there are only about 500 of them remaining, period. Like, the species as a whole, there's only like 500 of them remaining. So it's important that this habitat is saved and maintained for them. Probably my favorite place to visit, though, was the Channel Islands National Park off the coast of California. The only way to get there is by boat, obviously, because the park is a series of islands. If you ever go, you have to book a boat ride well in advance. I think I booked mine about a month, maybe 3 weeks out. I went to Santa Rosa Island, and on the way there, we came across a ton of brown pelicans and a massive pod of dolphins. Once on the island, my brain nearly exploded. There were so many endemic species, and not only just plant species, but just like animals as well. And those are species that can only be found on the islands. So, some of my favorites include Dudleya greenii, which is an endemic relative to the mainland Dudleyas that we actually had to collect seeds from this season. So, we collected from Dudleya cespitosa, Dudleya lanceolata, and Dudleya abramsii subspecies calcicola. Also, I found this really weird looking plant that I later found out was giant corpus. They weren't flowering at the time, but I still think their leaves and overall form are super cool. It kind of reminds me of like a giant broccoli or something, like an alien broccoli almost. But anyway, now besides plants, the endemic animals were awesome. I saw the island scrub jay, which is the only endemic bird in North America, and it's also really pretty. And the Channel Island fox, which is so adorable. The Channel Island fox was so cute. They evolved alongside humans, so they aren't afraid of you and will walk right up to you, and they're super photogenic as well. While I was there, I saw 4 different foxes, so I definitely feel like I got my money's worth. I also found this lizard, but I'm too lazy to identify it. So if any of you know what it is, just let me know. Now, with all that being said, I really enjoyed my time in the Seeds of Success program. I really liked going about and just exploring all the different parts of Southern California and getting to see the various flora and fauna that inhabit it. Now, I think my favorite part of the Seeds of Success program was just going out every day and collecting native seeds and feeling like I'm doing some good for these native plant species. Now, if you're still curious on why we collect native seeds in general and what's done with them after we collect them, then go ahead and watch the documentary that I have linked in the description below. And that should clear up any questions that you have because that documentary goes through all the steps, the collection, the processing, the everything. So, yeah, just go ahead and give that documentary a watch if you're still curious on anything. But if you liked me sharing my experience, and you thought this video was awesome, then go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. And I will see you all in my next video. Thank you for watching.